Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm be presenting the fourth evaluated activity. The tutor of the course is Marta Cecilia Alvarado Dominguez. My name is Freddy Oswaldo Cruz Martinez, and the course that I'm taking right now is Linguistic Foundation in English. The due date to hand in this assignment is Thursday, June 1st, 2023. Let's start with the introduction. Okay, in this video, I'll be talking about the summary of chapter 7 and 8 from the book The Study of Language by George Yule. Firstly, I will mention a brief definition plus examples of the part of speech which played an important role in communication. Secondly, I will make the difference between prescriptivism and descriptivism. And thirdly, I will make a summary of the most important aspects of Chapter A, which is mainly about syntax. Lastly, I will state a conclusion of overall cover on this video. So that was the introduction. Let's move on to the third slide, which is the topic development of the unit related to grammar. So when I was reading the chapter 7, which is about grammar, the most important part that I could found was this, the part of speech. I will start with nouns. So what is a noun? Noun is a word that it is used um, to mention or people, objects, animals, etc. So there are many examples, but I only included one, which is boy. Boy is an example of a noun. Let's move on with the articles. Articles are also part of speech, and we have here some. There are more, but the article is the, a, and n. And let's move on with the adjectives. Adjectives are words that tells us more information about nouns. For example, if I say an ugly boy, the word ugly is telling me how the boy is physically, right? So those are adjectives. Let's continue with adverbs. Adverb, it's another part of speech that they only modify or they are affecting the verb, right? If I say the turtle moved slowly. Oh, I took the exam yesterday. When I say in that, the word yesterday is modifying the verb took. So let's move on to prepositions. Prepositions are mainly used to tell us the position of something. If I say the book is under the table, I left the keys near the bed, etc., etc. And here we have some examples: on, in, on, under, next, near, between, etc., etc., etc. Let's move on with pronouns. Pronouns are the ones that we use instead of mention the name of a person, of a place, or more than one people. If I say, instead of saying Lucas, I could say he is the teacher. It is like saying Lucas is the teacher. Those are pronouns, and they are used, and they are a very important part of the speech. What about conjunctions? Conjunctions are words that are used to join two sentences or two ideas that are related. A good example could be I hate cooking and cleaning. No, or sorry, cooking and cleaning are two things I hate to do. So as you can see, cooking is related to cleaning and they are joining. That's the main purpose of conjunctions. So that was the part of speech. Let's move on with the next slide, which is what is the difference between prescriptivism and descriptivism? That is a good question, right? So prescriptivism for me is it is used. It is you. Sorry for the interruptions, but I'm in a very crowded place. This prescriptivism, it is used mainly for, let's say, for formal English, when we really need to use to know the rules, the grammatical rules. For example, when we have to take the TOEFL test, we really need to know the grammatical rules, the structures, the correct patterns of the language. So that's prescriptivism. It is more related to academic. That is my opinion. So let's go to descriptivism. Descriptivism, on the other way around, it would be like, let's say, the use that we made to the language in daily way, in daily day routines. The it is most appropriate for spoken language, in which you don't stop thinking what are you going to say, just you say it, and it doesn't matter if you make mistakes, because when you are speaking is naturally. So it is something that you don't start saying, okay, I'm going to choose a verb, then a subject. No, I'm going to choose a subject, then a verb, then an object, and no, we don't speak like that, right? We just say the words as they comes to our mind. So I would say that this one, prescriptivism, is for formal occasions, and descriptivism is more related to spoken language. The use that we the use that we make for the language in everyday life, right? In our work, in our school, etc., etc., etc. So let's move on to the other part, which is syntactic analysis. In syntactic analysis, we use some conventional abbreviations for the parts of speech identified in Chapter 7. Examples are and. And it is referring to noun, art, it is referring to article, and I, it is referring to adjective, and let me see, maybe something. The letter B, it is referring to verb. I don't know why it didn't appear here, but here it is. B. B, it is referring to verb. We also use abbreviations for phrases such as NP. In NP, it is referring to a noun phrase, and BP, it is referring to a verb phrase, right? Consistent of a verb plus the following noun phrase. So, tree diagrams, that's another important element. One of the best ways to create a visual representation of underlying syntactic structure is through tree diagrams. We use the symbols introduced earlier to label parts of speech, to label parts of a diagram tree, sorry. When we create a representation of how each part fits into the underlying structure of phrases. An example of a tree diagram will be like this. Let me show you an example. So as you can see here, we have NP, which is noun phrase. A noun phrase is composed by an article and a noun, a dog. That's a noun phrase, a simple noun phrase. But let's see in more details three diagrams of the English sentences. We can now put together three diagrams for whole sentences, hierarchically organized as shown in the picture below. As you can see here, noun phrase, a dog followed the boy. Followed is a verb, and follow the boy is a verb phrase, right? Here we have another example. You saw it. You is a noun, and so it's a verb, and it is okay, noun phrase. And the next example, So we are going to move on to the last. This is the conclusion. So in my conclusions, it should be an error to say that grammar is better than syntax. Each of them play an important role in communication. On one hand, grammar dictates the rules one should follow to write correctly. On the other hand, syntax has to do with the organizations and placements of words in both written and spoken language. At the end of the day, both um, both elements makes communication more complete, right? So we cannot say that grammar is better than syntax, and because syntax is a branch of grammar. That is my conclusion. And here we have some example, some quiz. Sorry. So let's go to question number one. Question number two. Question number three. Question number four. And question number five. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed my video. Let's subscribe and don't forget to give me thumbs up if you enjoy my content to get more videos like these ones in the near future. That's all for today. So long, goodbye, take care, have a nice day.